Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Hurdle the Line. This week, I am joined by my two wonderful. By the way, I'm Fletch. By the way, if this is your first time joining in, I am your host, and I'm joining me right now. My two favourites. Let's not tell anybody else, but my two absolute favourites, Tom and Ollie. How are we, gentlemen?
Very good, very good. Happy to be back. It's quite scarce nowadays my appearances on here, but every time I'm on here, it's always a blast. So looking forward to it.
Boom.
Yeah, and I'm good. Yeah, well rested from being away last week and yeah, ready to get rolling again. And hope what is it, a month until training camp or something like that?
Less
So
than a month, 20
Well,
20. No, bloody hell, 18 days to the Browns.
18 days,
I say
counting down the days.
got something on that I'm going to tell you in a second, and we're all going to get really, really excited and happy, and be all really, really
God,
well.
18 days to a training camp.
Um, Well, Tom,
So
you've been
much.
jet setting, haven't you? You've been off in Prague, which
I
was
have.
looked very, very
Yes.
nice.
Yeah, very
Um,
nice.
since our last episode, because it's been 2 weeks. You've been jet setting around Europe. I turned 30. Which was
Hey,
a
Yeah, happy
thing.
birthday.
happy
Um,
birthday.
and I do, by the way, obviously the college pod. My mum and dad got a shout out for the present that they got me for my birthday, which was fantastic. But I do want to give a shout out to my slightly younger brother who managed to score me a brand new Calvin Johnson jersey. By the way, I just want very, very grateful for my little brother today. Um,
Nice.
that young man is very. If you can do anything, it's gift giving, right?
I was
That's
gonna
he
say,
just.
I don't even get a card. I just get a tenner.
Yeah, literally.
Happy birthday, mate. Sound.
Um, but yeah, what have you been up to, Wally? Is anything that I mean, looking and seeing what you're doing over on the UK Browns NFL stuff has been really, really cool to see. 'Cause you do it. Well, you're here, there, and everywhere now, aren't you?
Oh, busy, busy. Always. If I'm not working my day job, I'm making the videos on some bullshit that the Browns are doing or what the Browns are up to. So, you know what it's like with the Browns. There's never ever a day that goes past where there's not something to talk about. So, yeah, just busy, busy, making content, working, all of that stuff. Summer's a pretty busy time for me with my day job. So always a bit of a hassle trying to balance everything this period of the year, but just kind of looking forward to getting past summer, get towards football season.
Yeah. Um, with that in mind, we'll start talking proper football in 1 minute. But as always, we'll go through a bit of the house info before we do. If you are watching this podcast on YouTube, then if you just look down, look below Tom, right? Look a bit below Tom, and right there is the description of the episode. In that description, if you scroll just a bit to the bottom, you will find a multitude of links where you can follow the AAW network on social media, where you can follow Hurdle the Line and this podcast on social media, and you can follow these two very, very, very handsome gentlemen on social media as well. You might even follow me as well. That's if you want to.
I'll have to put a warning on mine if you want to follow. Just
Um, yes, well you kind of follow these two handsome gentlemen, and you can throw me a charity follow if you want to as well, because you feel bad that you've done it for them and not for me. Um, that is a thing. But in there also, we do have our Discord link where you can join. And at the end of every episode, we throw a question out to our panel, and you can join in that question too if you are in our Discord. Find out more about that later, though, at the very end of the episode. Before we do get to that, we've got a few things. We've got a few things to go through. First off, we've got news. So I was going to rattle off a couple of pieces of news for you, gentlemen, and we can anything that stands out. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of bits here that are going to stand out for you. We can talk about them. So as of right now, two first round draft picks have still not been signed to a contract. That would be Shamar Stewart of the Cincinnati Bengals and Jahdae Barron of the Denver Broncos. The Shamar Stewart bit is just the most saddest situation that a franchise could be in. Ollie, you've got to be enjoying it right now, watching the Bengals go through what they're going through.
yeah, I mean, Shamar Stewart was one of my kind of not draft crushes, but someone that I kind of had a little bit higher than others, shall we say. So when he fell to the Bengals, I was pretty pissed off. So to just see everything how it's unfolded since just brings joy, joy to me. Obviously, it's one of those not joy to him, but just this is just a terrible start for his NFL career. Everyone, anyone that's in the pocket of Mike Brown will try and try and make this out like it's his problem. Shamar Stewart's, that is. But even he's a Bendel player, completely support him in this situation. The Bendels trying to basically change how they do contracts. They expected him to be the guinea pig. He said no, and both sides seem to refuse to move. So see how it unfolds. But it's a shit situation when your owner
Yeah.
doesn't even want to pay the fucking first round pick that they took. So
Yeah. They've only got, I think it's 4 weeks roughly from today to sign him. Well, he's got only 4 weeks to either sign a contract or get traded. Otherwise, I can't remember the exact date, but it's in the first week of August where, like, if first round draft picks are not signed, then they have to stay with that team at least for the year, or where they can't play for another franchise during that year. So he's either
yeah, and
something needs
then
to get sorted soon.
they could then possibly re-enter the drafts the next year
And
if they
then
don't
sign
come
Yeah,
to
with
any.
any other team than the Bengals,
Yeah,
yeah.
basically, which
With
would be
Jade back,
hilarious as well.
yeah,
they still haven't signed Hendrickson either. So all things going well down there in Kentucky.
well, the number one problem we've had with them for over a year, and then we were all baffled this year when they didn't properly fix the defense in the off season. Okay, they got Shamar Stewart in the draft, and then they can't sort him out. And then the one piece that they do have in the franchise that's decent on defense also they're having problems with. It's
Mm.
comical all year round. And Joe Burrow's now gonna have to put up 60 a week if he wants to be in with a shot of not having the first draft pick overall. Um, but Jade Barron is also the other one. Tom, is that it?
I was surprised about that because I'm pretty sure, like, all the stuff after the draft, he was impressing all the Broncos brass. So surprised he hasn't signed a
Was,
contract. But
was
yeah,
he what pick was he? Sorry, was he a second round pick?
I think he was a
It was
second round pick.
So
Yeah.
so
No,
from
it's
what?
first round. It was because
Oh, first round.
there are a few others who haven't signed, but
Why did I think
this
they
is the
took a
list from
running
the
back
two
in the first
first one.
round?
No, they took a running back in like the
Yeah, that was the Chargers, wasn't it? I don't know
mm,
why I'm thinking of because obviously with the second round stuff, I don't know if you see, but there's a lot of guys that have gotten fully guaranteed contracts, including Carson Schwarzenegger, the Browns third, and the guy went 32nd as well, which is kind of that led to a lot of these second round guys not getting signed for a bit. But with the first round guys not being an excuse, you know what you're paying that guy when you draft him. So I just don't understand how you could have so many problems with these first round pick contracts.
Yeah.
yeah, that
Um,
makes sense.
in other news, as far as players being signed goes, there's been a blockbuster trade between the Miami Dolphins and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The
Blockbuster
Steelers.
5 years
I
ago.
was gonna say Blockbuster in 2020, maybe.
This is how it's been billed. I've copied and pasted the ESPN article. Between the Dolphins and the Steelers. The Steelers received Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, and a 2027 seventh round pick. The Dolphins will get safety Minka Fitzpatrick and a 2027 fifth round choice.
It makes no sense. I just don't like before they included Jody Smith. Yeah, I genuinely pissed myself because I was like, you just traded like a better player for a worse player on more money. I didn't
Mm.
understand it. And then obviously you saw that the Jody Smith was thrown into it. That's obviously what they had to take to get done. But yeah, like Tom said, 2020, this might have been exciting. Um, it might have maybe still been a little bit exciting if they kept Minka Fitzpatrick, and this was an idea of pairing Jalen Ramsey with Minka Fitzpatrick, with Joey Porter Jr. and with Darius Slay. But they've gotten rid of Minka now, so they've basically just got two old dudes and Joey Porter Jr. So interested to see how it works. It's funny because the Steelers have kind of ignored the quarterback room. They put more focus on safety. Safety seems to have bigger impact in their scheme the last kind of 5 years. They seem to have like flipped that now, and they've gone more of the focus on the actual corners rather than the safeties. I mean, their safeties now, what is it? Deshaun Elliott and fucking
Mm.
Juan Thornhill, who
Mm.
before.
I didn't even know it's some of the Steelers
Yeah, he signed with the Steelers. Obviously, he did his usual Tom where he chatted his shit, and I can't wait to play the Browns. And all I'm going to say is I cannot wait to watch Juan Thornhill have to be the starting safety for Steelers 2 games next year. That's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, there's a reason why the Chiefs or the Browns didn't re-sign him. So
But the thing is that like, at least he was okay in Kansas. Like
mm.
he was never like that talented, but like at least he was okay and tried.
He was like mediocre. He was
Yeah,
decent.
but he tried.
Yeah,
Like, and then
yeah.
with the Browns, bro, he just didn't even try. Like, my man just didn't even care. But yeah, nah, don't move the needle for me. Steelers are still going to fucking finish 8 and 9. So
Yeah, and as Ollie said, like in 2020, this would have excited me because Jalen Ramsey was, a top corner in the league. I mean, he's still a top corner, but he's injury prone as well. And then if it was Minka Fitzpatrick a few years ago, sure, that's great, but his production has gone down year on year for the last couple of years. Yeah, he's known as like a ball hawk and what have you, and he's kind of slowly been getting a bit worse, even though he is only still 28. Um, and I do think he's going to add some veteran presence to that Miami defense, which they do need. But at the same time, yeah, the trade doesn't move the needle. Obviously, Johnny Smith going back to pair with Arthur Smith again. Clearly loves the guy, so we'll have to see how that turns out. But I agree, I still think the Steelers are going to finish fourth in the division. So
yeah, I mean it's pretty obvious what what the Steelers' plan on offense next year is, and that's just run 12 personnel every fucking play. So
Well, speaking of the Steelers and the offense that they're gonna run, because it's been 2 weeks, so there are a couple extra bits thrown in here just because it's been a bit longer. Uh, the day after we recorded last, and so this was the 24th of June, Aaron Rodgers went on Pat McAfee and said that it is almost certain this is his last year. He's
mm,
it's his final roll of the dice. Um, he go 9-8, get bounced out in the first round of the playoffs. See you later, Aaron Rodgers. Ride off into the sunset. Um, it's not a shock to anyone in this room that this was going to be his last year, is it?
no.
I mean, is it though? Because he's been saying this for fucking 3 years. I mean, if it gets to next year and there's like some other thing happening in the sports world that's taking some attention away from his potential retirement, he'll go, fuck it, I'm going to play one more year because I need all the attention to be on me. And obviously, I can't be having that. So, do you know what I mean? Like, let's say, like, LeBron announces he's going to retire or something. He'll be like, whoa, I can't retire the same. I need all the attention to be on me. So, he'll just push it back another year. Who knows at this point with Aaron Rodgers? All I know is that it's hilarious that he plays for the Steelers.
I agree. I completely agree. So I feel like both of us have somewhat of a stake in his downfall this year, and just the Schadenfreude that will come
I
across
I
along with
never had the
any.
thing is right. Like I used to like Aaron Rodgers because you know some reasons that I won't go into on here, but things that he's into that I agree with, and some of stuff like that. I always kind of liked similar to Kevin Durant in the NBA. I kind of liked that like laid back, I'm gonna do my own thing approach. And then like the last few years, he just came out with the most like he just started saying the most hilarious stuff, started
Mm,
acting like an absolute petulant child, and has just gotten to a point now where it's like I don't hate him. I have nothing against him, but it's like I just don't care, man. Like, do you know what I
mm.
mean? Like, I think we've kind of moved on. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't really care anymore.
Fair enough. Well, I
He's
didn't
trying to
see.
hang on to relevancy as well.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. It's almost sad to be honest.
he's not 32-year-old Aaron Rodgers throwing it down the field. Sorry, Fletch against your Lions or whatever. Like that's not what he's doing now. He's
Yeah,
he's not done that in a long time.
Thing is, he can still sling it. Like, don't
Mm.
get me wrong. They don't like. He could be 55 years old and he'll still be able to sling it better than 99.9% of people that have ever lived. Because it's Aaron Rodgers. But yeah, it's just gotten to that point now where the level of the play doesn't outweigh. When he's winning MVPs, it doesn't matter that he's saying this crazy shit like go and inject yourself with ivermectin or whatever the fuck he was saying. You know what I mean? You can kind of get away with that stuff, but when the play is dropped and you're still keeping up those same antics, people just get a bit tired of it. As I
Yeah.
said, I don't hate him. Like I'm not, I know there are people out there that actually hate Aaron Rodgers. They genuinely hate the guy. I don't hate him. I've got nothing against him. I just think it's a bit boring now. Can't be asked. And obviously now he plays for the Steelers. It's just funny.
yeah. Um, on we'll go to some. In fact, no. Just while we're on not great news. I'll drop this one. Justin Tucker. Everything AFC North at the moment, it seems. Justin Tucker has been suspended for the first 10 weeks of the season. I don't think much needs to actually be said about this. I don't particularly want us to dwell on this
No.
situation. Just, it's a sad and frustrating situation, and that is the outcome.
Can I just say, Jim Harbaugh, you are a fucking idiot. That's it.
You mean John Hubber?
John Harbaugh, sorry. Well,
Well,
Jim's a bit of an idiot as
you're
well,
just
but
throwing shade at the
Jim,
charges that got
Jim's a bit of
no
an idiot as
reason.
well. Jim's an idiot for different reasons. Don't get me
Oh,
wrong.
yeah.
Cheating in college, but obviously John, with the comments that he made in regards
Mm,
to my franchise a few years back, and the actions that he has taken in some of these players since, yeah,
Yeah.
bit of an idiot, mate.
Full of
yeah,
Ohio State tears,
even the
this, by the way.
statement that the Ravens came out with was just so like, oh yeah, oh it was a football decision. It's like
Yeah,
clearly
football
not a
decision.
football
Yeah,
decision.
football
It's
decision.
like, yeah, you drafted a kicker in the draft. We get that, but this was not a football. This is a, creep, whatever. So
Yeah,
Um,
fuck Justin Tucker and fuck the Ravens.
I like the
complete.
Ravens, but fuck Justin Tucker.
Do you know what? That'll be the title of the episode now. Forget the main topic. That could be the title of the episode. Staying in the AFC North for one more bit of news.
Jesus, what's going? What else we got?
Bengals and Hamilton County have reached an agreement on a $470 million stadium renovation.
Bro, this is the least relevant news about stadiums in the AFC North.
I was going to
What's
say
happened in the last
something
two
happened with the
weeks?
Browns
Bro,
stadium,
we've got
didn't it?
our
Right?
thing approved.
Is
It's
that in the last
official.
2 weeks?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I thought it was
In the
longer
last,
than 2 weeks ago. I
well,
don't know why.
obviously it's been hit back and forth, back and forth. The bloody city, the mayor tried to sue again, trying to do the whole like Art Modell stuff, even though they're moving 15 minutes up the road. But no, official. The Browns will be playing at Brook Park as early as 2029.
Lovely. Like I say, I thought we'd just put that on
State
before or
state
whatever.
of the art, 2 billion dome stadium. It will be the best dome stadium facility in the NFL. The closest thing to the sea. It looks incredible. I encourage anyone
Oh
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
hasn't seen to go and have a look.
Well, when the original plans got approved, I know we spoke about it on air, and every single one of us, I kind of had the pictures of it up, and it does look absolutely incredible.
And for all the people that want to do that, it's funny because it's always the non-Browns fans that are like, oh, football should be played in the snow and all of this stuff and all of that. Well, how about come and watch one of these games in the snow and then maybe you'll have a different outcome.
Yeah, true,
But
true.
then also for anyone doing the whole like, oh, weather advantage, the Browns have the worst record in the NFL since 1999. What weather advantage? I've seen the Saints, who are a dome team, beat us in a snow game in our own stadium. Don't talk to me about weather advantage. Build
Not
the dome, get me in it.
not just a dome team, but a dome team from down south
Yeah,
where it's
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
warm
Do
yeah.
you know
all
what I
year
mean? Not
round.
like Minnesota, who practice in the cold. Do you know what I mean? It's literally like LSU, Louisiana. Do you know what I mean? Like New Orleans. What are we doing? They came and beat us in a snow game. There's no advantage. Build the dome. I can't wait. Looks incredible. Biggest freestanding stand in the NFL. It literally looks like the wall Borussia Dortmund. The Borussia Dortmund
Ooh,
the wall.
yeah. The
It's
yellow
basically
wall.
the same concept where
Mm.
it's a single standing like 3 tier stand for the dog pound. It looks incredible. I encourage everyone to go check it out. Can't wait.
Yep. Um. Well, I'll say apologies then for not having that in. That has now been thrown in. Thank you,
But yes,
Ollie, for
The Bengals will
including
carry
that
on
one.
playing in
Um.
Kentucky till another 10 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Do you
So
mean Cincinnati?
it's right
Yeah,
on the border, though,
which
isn't
is
it?
in Kentucky. Yeah,
Is it?
yeah,
What?
yeah. Cincinnati's in Kentucky. Everyone
No,
knows
it's in
this.
Ohio. Stop it. Stop it.
It's right on that border, though. It's not. Is it as close to the border as
Yeah, yeah.
the
It's
Chiefs are to in between the two?
maybe not quite as close as obviously the Chiefs of their stadium and practice facility are in two different states.
Mm.
But it is pretty much it's the same kind of it's as close as you get pretty
Yeah.
much.
Um. The only other bit of news I've got two more bits of news. The one that's actually proper football related is the Buccaneers have signed
Mm.
head coach Todd Bowles and GM Jason Licht to a multi-year extension.
Jason Light.
Entirely what, yeah. That one, what Tom said. Fully warranted. fully warranted. They've been
I think for
fantastic.
him it is as the GM. I think
Not the
he's
coach.
I think he's done a great job, and I think but I'm not really convinced that Todd Bowles
Nah,
deserved an
we're
extension,
gonna be
to be
sat we're gonna be
honest.
sat here either this year or next
Like,
year talking about how that was
I
a
mean, we
bad
were saying
extension.
it this year he could have been fired, like if they didn't make the playoffs. But then, yeah, I mean, obviously Baker Mayfield had a great year. But yeah, I'm still not convinced by Todd Bowles, to be perfectly honest with you. So Jason Light, yeah, great GM, but Todd Bowles,
Let's
Okay.
actually see if any NFC South team can actually be an NFL team this year, and
mm,
we can decide on Todd Bowles then.
yeah, true.
The final bit of news I've got actually comes, and I'm devastated that we don't have Chapman this week. We've lost him to illness. Not lost him like he's not dead. He's just not here this week. But gutted we don't have him this week as we have a helmet headline.
Oh, da, 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 da,
No.
da.
As 7 teams
Yep.
this month are due to release a new alternate helmet. I don't think any of them have been released yet as of the
I
time of
know
recording,
ours is.
but
I know ours is. It's Chrome. It's going to be a
yeah.
Chrome one.
Um, one extra. I've got a sneaky one to add in here, by the way. One I did say that I'd mention this and we'd all be celebrating. Um, Officially, now it is only the Pro Football Hall of Fame game, but officially this month we have some form of NFL football.
Yep.
Yes, even if it's that
Played in the
game.
birthplace of football itself, Canton,
Canton,
Ohio.
Ohio. So
Which, by the way, great place to visit.
fully recommended. I've
Fully
heard. I've not
recommend it.
been. Um, but yeah, we are now in the month of NFL football taking place.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Just we've made it. Congratulations to all of us. We
Have
have made it.
you ever seen the South Park episode where Stan's dad Randy gets caught in the building when there's loads of ectoplasm everywhere? That's basically me right now
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when anyone says
Oh,
this.
yes.
Guys, there's
Yeah.
NFL this month. It's just ectoplasm. I promise. There was a ghost. There was a ghost.
Running around. We got that Gary Neville commentary from
Oh!
unbelievable, unbelievable.
He'll never live that.
Oh!
I don't think he'll ever live
Oh!
that down, will he? Like, honestly.
I hope
No,
he doesn't.
we've had some bangers over the years.
Right. Okay. So that is the news. Double do either of you anything you want to throw in there as well? It is that period now where I
I
think
think
we've
we've
covered
covered enough
everything.
news. That was very, very good.
That's very
Considering
very
it's July, I think we talked
um,
about more than it is actually going on.
so
So
Chapman did say a few days ago, like, how much news can you cover it in early July? Well, this is how much, Chapman. I know you're listening. Um, so we are beginning, as of this week, we are beginning a mini series on Hurdle the Line, 4 episodes long. Let's get into it. I would like to welcome all of you, whether you're on YouTube, whether you are on audio only, I would like to welcome you all to the Builder Franchise Workshop. Yes, the Builder Franchise Workshop. Recently, we were asked by Mrs. Fletch, how on earth does an NFL team come to be? I have no idea. Can you talk about it on a podcast? And I said, do you know what? We can do one better. Not only will we talk about how an NFL team is created, not only will we go through most of the separate things that that NFL prospective teams, apologies, have to go through in order to just exist and enter the league as an NFL team. We're gonna do those things ourselves for the most part. Now, with the help of ChatGPT, have come up with a fantastic way to do this, and that is based on the Build-A-Bear workshop. We're going to go through all the stations, and yes, for the most part, I have kept the names of those stations in. So if they sound weirdly erotic for talking about 53 plus grown ass men, just deal with that. Take it up with Build-A-Bear. That's not my fault. Um, So yeah, we're gonna build our own NFL franchise over the next 4 weeks by going through some of the separate stations each week. This week, we're gonna go through just some of the basics. We're gonna come up with the idea, where we're gonna walk up by the end of this episode, we're gonna walk up to Roger Goodell and say, here's our idea, right? Here's what we want. Here's the idea. But this to start this off, what every NFL franchise, prospective franchise needs to go through is just first finding a location for that franchise. You can't have an NFL. You can't just walk up to Roger Goodell and say, "I want to put an NFL team out there somewhere," because he's gonna say, "Well, find out where." So our first job is to find a location for our NFL franchise. I want to throw to Ollie. I want to throw to you first. Do you have a location in mind for this NFL franchise?
Yeah,
Where?
Cardiff.
Playing at the
And my
Principality Stadium?
yeah, the reason I say Cardiff over London, other than the fact that I'm Welsh, um, I'll be completely honest. I just don't think that we're ready for a franchise in the UK as a whole, right? Across the board. I just don't think, as much as we love to think we're bigger than we are, there's just there's not the support to be able to fill a stadium every single week, 17, 18 weeks of a season, um, and be profitable enough for a team. So the reason I choose Cardiff is because this is our exercise, and I'm not picking a USC. Sorry, I'm British. And is that I know the Welsh, they will get behind anything if you slap a Welsh flag on it. There is no other place in the UK that just by blind loyalty of slapping the flag on it, they will get behind it. So I'm going to go with Cardiff because, as I said, slap a Welsh flag on it, don't matter what you call it, what sport it is, they will get behind it.
Lovely. Tom, do you have a location in which you would like to place this NFL franchise?
For some reason, I was thinking Newcastle. I don't know why I was thinking that.
What? That's rugby
No,
league territory.
I know, but it was
They don't
what you
even play
said
real
into.
rugby.
I know, but what I was thinking is what you said in terms of if you slap a thing on it. I'm saying if you slapped some sort of, if there was a Newcastle badge on it somewhere, then everyone in
Yeah,
Newcastle would follow it.
put a Newcastle ale on it and they'll get behind it.
Yeah, that's literally what I mean. Like Newcastle Brown Ale
Yeah,
franchise, like
yeah.
they so just for that aspect. But yeah, if we're being realistic, it probably would be London, I guess. But yeah, I'm just gonna say Newcastle for the hell of it.
So I'm going to start by saying my first idea is to keep the franchise in the United States, partly because, as Ollie said, I don't think we're quite ready for an NFL franchise of our own. Is you even if it's even if you to put it in Spurs, right? At 63K, 64K every week. Okay, you only actually have to do it for 8, maybe 9 weeks of the year rather than the full 17. But once that every year it kind of comes in, there's a novelty around it. Right, it's a novelty, and that's why most people turn. And half of those seats are now being given away to influencers, and the other ones cost 4 grand. Right,
I know.
maybe it brings the cost down slightly for those seats, but once that novelty initially wears off, we might have a really good first season, but the novelty is going to wear off once the team's a bit crap because it's brand new.
True.
What I get the feeling that some attendance is going to dip, it's going to drop, and it's not going to be great. So I think you put it in a US city where, at the end of the day, we already know that there's a fan base there for it. We already know that the infrastructure exists to have an NFL team. Either San Diego, which is kind of by the by, and
Already
I
had a
think the
franchise there.
second
Come on.
second idea in the States, but start with St. Louis. Now I know it's not the greatest market in general, but look at the way that they have embraced the UFL, right? Average attendance in the UFL is about 11,000. St. Louis putting up nearly 30,000. every week. And last year they did about 35,000.
It
So
helps that they're
therefore,
good in UFL though. They're like one of the premier teams in the UFL, right? Aren't they? The St. Louis Battle Lions.
Not
yeah.
really. Well, they're not the top team.
No, no, no. I said the DC Defenders and Michigan Panthers were in the championship this year. They're one of the better teams. They're a top half of the eight that are
Yeah,
in there.
yeah, yeah.
But the way they've got behind it, and they got behind it from the start, by the way, just makes it they're hungry for football. The only problem I think you would really run into is I think they're sick of the NFL as a whole. So if the NFL did turn up, I think half of them would say just go away. We're sick of you. So
How do you work out the history with the Rams when you bring these teams back?
Mm,
The NBA when they moved from Seattle to the Oklahoma City Thunder, they put conditions in there that if there ever is a Seattle team that comes back, they take the history back. I've not heard of any of these conditions being put in for any of these NFL franchises. We all know how it goes between the Texans and the Titans whenever the Texans decide to bring out the Oilers jerseys. So there's all of that to deal with.
yeah.
As you said, the thing, and I just, we spoke about this a little bit off camera, but this is going to sound mean, but I just don't really care anymore. You know, I think this ship sailed the whole like we need to get these teams back to these places. People move on. There's a reason why the NBA is not giving a team back to Seattle. There's a reason why the NFL has not decided to go back to these places. It's not just a random coincidence or because they hate them. There's clearly more marketable, more economically viable locations. That you mentioned, yeah, they're good attendance. The population of St. Louis is smaller than Coventry. It's quite a small place, and I'm not from there, so I would understand. If I'm from there and I had these ties, like the team they used to have, I'd understand. But for me, I think we should start something new, um, and something unique rather than just go back to what we've already had.
Well, then, can I make okay? I'll concede on St. Louis again. I do actually think to an extent, I think St. Louis won't
It,
get behind the NFL as a whole
yeah,
either.
and that is the
Um,
one that makes the most sense. Like I understand, of course, but
but I'll throw one. I'll join you both, and I'll come across. I'll join Ollie on a little bit of not Welsh, by the way. Well, we'll put it. I'd go North Wales. We're going to put it in real. That's not happening. Um,
that'll be good. My grandparents and season ticket holders.
but I'll throw Manchester out there. Because not only do you have the Etihad, which I believe, with some minor adjustments to the concourse, could take on that stadium, but Man United have just started getting ready to build that brand new stadium. Literally, well, not even 15 minutes down the road. It's next to the stadium, isn't it?
Yeah,
Um, you could do a deal where you've already got an in with the Glazers, United's owners. Oh no, well, yeah, but you've already got an in with the Glazers similar to the way you kind of had it in with Shad Khan and Fulham and kind of getting in with the
I
Premier League and
good luck telling United fans to support a team that is owned by the Glazers.
yeah,
oh no,
yeah.
I know. No, 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 but listen, the team's owned by us. This team's going to be owned by us. We're nothing to do. Okay, good. Tell them to someone who supports City and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah,
Fair enough, but we own it's the AAW franchise. We as a consortium
yeah,
putting this
yeah.
plan together, right?
Where have we got our money from? Is it Saudi Arabia by any chance?
Well, I've got about £3.50 on a dresser over there, right?
Sweet, sweet.
Um, but what we could do again is that we go to the NFL and say we've got Manchester. Can you put us on the phone to the Glazers? Now that might be a conflict of interest though if the Glazers own the
Yeah,
stadium
yeah.
that we're playing in.
I know in the
But
Bucks.
Manchester has the
Mm,
infrastructure for it. It's
mm.
central enough in terms of from top of Scotland to London, but most people to kind of get to on a some transport system, good ability to get into Manchester with the train system and all that going around the country. So I'll throw them out there. I do like
Oh, and
Cardiff though. I love Cardiff as an idea.
H2 in 48,000 years when they finally complete it. We'll be able to get to Manchester even quicker for these
Let's not
games.
get into H2. Not on this podcast, no.
You know about HS2?
So, yeah. So
Quite
my
interesting.
my my final kind of pitch for why I think it should be Cardiff after taking in what you both said. Newcastle, is a good similar shout to Wales, but it's just not bigger. Wales is much bigger. It's a much bigger market. Manchester is the sexier option. If there was a poll, it would be London and Manchester. But I go back to what I said. Manchester is Manchester United and Manchester City. Right,
Mm.
you are not going to get Manchester United fans and Manchester City fans to care more about an American football team than they do about their football teams. Right? Take it from a Welsh guy. We have nothing, bro. We have nothing. The Welsh rugby team's crap. The Welsh football team's crap. Look at our club teams. I mean, Cardiff are not very good, thankfully, because fuck Cardiff in football terms. I'm a Swansea fan, but they are crying out for a sport to be good in, right? If they can have an NFL team that is even remotely good, it would that's my kind of my pitch is that I feel like it would get the biggest backing from the people in the area. As you said, Chapman, you've got all the facilities. It's Cardiff. It's the biggest city in Wales. It's the most accessible city in Wales. It's close enough to the border that it's not like, as you said, it's not like going to real. It's not a 6 hour drive through the valleys. It's more than accessible enough. That's my final pitch.
I will say the problem with Will is not that it's not close to the border. It's like 10 minutes over from Chester. But
Yeah,
at the same time, it's just not in real. Nobody deserves that. Absolutely nobody.
mate. If they chose real, they'd be more than half the residents would be dead by the time the stadium is built.
Yes. And that's
That's
that.
because it's a really old place for anyone that thinks that was sinister or something.
But also, like, yeah. And that's the nice part of what had happened. But okay, fair enough. And again, very much okay. I like the idea of Cardiff, the Principality Stadium. It's hosted an NFL game before, I believe. No, it hasn't.
No,
No, it hasn't.
no.
But all the plans, well, the plans were in place to have one, and I do believe that Roger Goodell, or there'd been a leak of something Roger Goodell had said of like, oh, maybe
It
we could try one
it's
in.
got to be next on the
Um,
list.
I know like the NFL UK or now NFL UK and Ireland, like committee and the guys who run the NFL and this have brought it forward to the NFL as a potential. So what I'd say is, United haven't started building that stadium yet. Given the potential conflict of interest with the Glazers owning the Bucks, but also potentially owning the stadium that one team plays in, could be conflict of interest, and the fact that you would then need to get modifications already put to a stadium that exists.
Yeah,
I'm happy to concede and go with Cardiff here.
I'm also happy to continue to go with Cardiff because,
It's very
as
close.
Ollie said, the rugby fans in Wales they still support their team no matter how shit they are. So if they could get behind that, then I'm sure they can get behind some
and
team that starts shit and then
and I
eventually
think I
builds.
think
So
it's a close enough result. Like rugby and American football is probably the two like closest comparisons of sports to each other.
mm,
As much as football has taken a bit of a front seat the last decade in Wales, it's still rugby still is the national sport. In England that's not the case. So I'm very happy that you've both decided to agree.
You know who, even if he's not in the NFL at the time, you kind of have to get we have to hire as a poster boy. But they're similar to the way you got Jason Kelsey going into the league meetings and saying, "Don't you dare ban that tush push." You've got to go get Lewis Rees Summit.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, it goes without saying.
mm,
I'm sure he'll be available in the expansion draft.
yes,
Um, but
I
not
would
just
think
like
so.
even not in the expansion draft. I mean, just like let's say it's in a year's time, half a year's time, we kind of get the go, or we're kind of able to then go up to the NFL and go up to Roger Goodell. Look, me and Ollie and well, all three of us last year were shouting about how much we want LRZ to succeed. Double for Tom there with him being on the Chiefs at the time. We all wanted it to. We all still, hopefully, we all still want him to succeed. But on
Yeah,
the off
just not
chance,
win any games.
on on the
Okay.
complete off chance that he doesn't, yeah, we're gonna have to get him as the poster child for this one. The Welsh NFL connection.
Yeah. Gareth Bale, I'm sure. I mean, he loves golf. I'm sure he's got some
Yeah,
NFL
get him
mates.
involved,
I'm
100%.
sure he's met Tom Brady before. I'm sure
Mm.
he can come and get involved.
Yeah. But I mean, you can also put down on like with the either way with having this franchise now, and if you're gonna go put it towards the NFL, it's a brand new franchise as well because this is going to be an expansion franchise, not a franchise like the Jags relocating
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like everyone thought it was going to be. Can you get with some of the infrastructure that's now here? You've got JJ Watt owning part of Burnley,
yeah.
Tom Brady owns part of
Birmingham
Birmingham.
City.
I'm sure Ryan Reynolds will help with our marketing. Obviously,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
being the
like
100%.
owner of
but
Wrexham.
well, but here being in Wales, you've got Reynolds and Rob McElhenney.
Yeah,
I'm sure there'll be a way, even if these people already had ties into a team that exists. I'm sure we could get some buy-in from the likes of Tom Brady here and just say, listen, but Birmingham is what, how far away from Cardiff? How long a drive?
yeah, not too far.
Um, like is it Tom, when you come over in September for a game to watch a Birmingham game, or maybe you can't with the Fox commitments and all that sort of stuff, but
Well, and Raiders being the owner of the Raiders.
Mm.
but just come over and watch a game. The NFL would be fine if it's an expansion franchise and it just
Yeah,
means
yeah,
that
yeah,
Tom's just going sitting there and watching a game and
yeah.
taking
First
photos.
team in
They'll
Wales.
allow it. Um,
I think, as you said, Fletch, the infrastructure already exists as well. That's the biggest thing. We don't have to create. Obviously, don't get me wrong. We might have to, you know, add on to a bit, make them dressing rooms a bit bigger, etc. But the infrastructure is already in place. They've already got all the training facilities. They've already got the stadium. Everything's there in place already. We don't really have to build that much.
Yeah, they just have to modify, wouldn't they? In terms
Yeah,
of probably like the weight room, they'd probably have to like change it a bit depending on, well, yeah,
yeah.
obviously what they're using it for. But 100%, the infrastructure's already there.
Well, they can leave the rugby stuff for the O lineman, but
Mm.
that's just fat, strong guys like it is in
Yeah,
rugby.
yeah, literally.
um, where's right? I just want to get one thing up here. You can talk between yourselves for a second if you can, please. Just while I get something up.
NFL team in Wales, then.
Yes. What would they be called though?
Well, it's obviously got to have dragons in it, doesn't it? It's got to be the Cardiff Dragons, doesn't
Mm.
it?
Cardiff Dragons.
Don't think too hard on this one because we will come back to this in an episode or two. But
Oh, okay.
given that we might not see Ollie for 2 months,
Well,
do have some say on it.
now it's Cardiff. I might have to move everything around and make sure that I'm here for every episode to make sure this doesn't get ruined. But
Uh,
I'm just so happy that everyone now is going to have to build this franchise in Cardiff. I love that.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I was just double checking to see like the size of Cardiff International, like the international airport. You've got an international airport
Yep,
right there.
yep.
So and it's of a decent size. It's
You got the port. You got everything.
yeah, if you want to sail to
Yeah.
America for one of your games, you can
If you want
do
to come
that.
by Titanic, you can do that.
I'll
The Titanic, I'm pretty sure, was in Cardiff at one point, or maybe one of the sister ones was in Cardiff at one point. I can't remember
yeah.
which.
But okay, so okay, we've come to the conclusion we're going to propose this to the NFL and it's in Cardiff. Yeah. Are there a couple names? The Cardiff Dragons. Are we going to do the whole giving it the Welsh version of the name? So rather than Cardiff Dragon, it'd be Cardiff Drag or something.
No, with an American market, we can't be we can't ask for too much.
Yeah.
We can use the Welsh language in our marketing. We can use it in our kind of all of that stuff. But I think for the name, we're gonna have to do the English version.
I do want for 1 minute to just hear a load of random like to hear someone coming over from Cleveland for a game just be like we're going to watch the Cardiff Drakes.
No, it'd be more funny watching a Bama like someone like a Texas fan or a Cowboys fan, someone with a Southern drawl.
We don't want to watch the Cardiff Drags.
Gonna watch the Cardiff Dragons.
But
Mm.
okay, so I like again, I like the idea. Get some of that marketing. Obviously, around the stadium, you'll have half English, half everything in English and Welsh. Even, um, I like the whole marketing to getting a lot of the marketing in Welsh. You can kind of, I reckon, you can somewhat because I like the way that Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney have done the stuff with Wrexham because they've been nothing but like they've immersed themselves to the point where like they've said, no, we're in Wales, so we
Yeah,
will do the things in Welsh.
yeah,
They've
Mm.
learned a fair bit of Welsh themselves, or
yeah.
have learned to at least just read what the like
What the prompt
yeah.
say? Yeah, yeah,
Um so they've gone through all that sort of stuff. You follow that kind of marketing system where the if you go in and you remember to say Llandudno instead of Llandudno, the Welsh people will love you for that, and they're grateful, as I've found out over the 7 years I've been with my wife. Um, so yeah, I completely actually
I think as well. Yeah, like Americans love like that kind of stuff. They love. I mean, obviously, it helps that it's white culture, but you know what I mean. The whole kind of like Celtic kind of stuff. They love doing the whole Anglo-Saxon stuff and tracing their
Mm.
thing like that. So I feel like it'd be
Very true.
so easy for them to like attach themselves to that kind of thing. Mate, we'll have half the fan base in America doing ancestry things, trying to find 0.1% Welsh in their ancestry to
Yep.
make it a thing. And obviously it would be, I say this as someone that, I'm Welsh and would love to see this. This would be unbelievable for Wales. This would just be one of the best things that ever happened to Wales, if I'm totally honest. To see the Welsh language and the Welsh culture be put on a world stage like this would just be incredible.
is having it in Patagonia not enough for you?
It's not. I need it more.
It'd be great again, just as a little extra there. So Roger Goodell coming and doing a press conference and trying to do the whole
Yeah,
saying at least the first sentence or
yeah,
two in Welsh
yeah.
and all that sort of,
The
it's
thing about
that
the
would be
anthems,
really
bro,
cool.
like, and not to be that guy, obviously, but like, I hope you can all agree, but like the Welsh anthem, you can include the Irish anthem and maybe even the Scottish, but like the English anthem is fucking boring. No
I
one wants
agree.
to sit there from da, na, na, na. Whereas the Welsh anthem is fun, man. Like even
Mm.
the Americans will be able to get behind that because it's more Americanized in terms of it's more big and out there, and it's a bit more in your face. So to have Star Spangled bloody I
Star
can't even say it.
Spangled Banger.
Star Spangled
Star
Banner.
Spangled Banner. There we go. And then the Welsh national anthem. That would be one hell of a
You've
performance.
got that, but also the first game, you've got Calon Lan
Yeah,
being belted by a choir, fly
yeah.
over. Yeah.
Yamaha Heed just belted in the first game.
Um, yeah. So anyway, going on to like at the end of the day, I think we've done a good job so far of doing this, but we're going to have to. But first basic thing you got to do once you've got your location, we know there's a stadium there, we know there's an infrastructure, we know what's there, right? We don't have to build any of that. The idea of this is we're not going to go have to build a city around a
Yeah, we're ready
stadium
to
or
go
anything.
now.
Exactly. So, and that's kind of a lot of what the NFL would want if you're going to go into a franchise. Maybe you need to do some renovations to a stadium, but they don't want to go somewhere you're going to have to build everything from scratch.
Yeah, and it's not going to cost them money.
Exactly. So we've got a good idea. So what we're going to have to do now is we're going to have to go up to at least Roger Goodell right now. You don't have to go to the 32 owners at this moment in time. That'll be in 3 weeks' time on the 28th, right? We're going to, by the end of that episode, that's when we'll go and propose our idea to the other owners in the league. But we do at least have to go up to Roger Goodell and find out whether these next 3 weeks are going to be worth it, right? To do that, we're going to have to come up with a somewhat of an elevator pitch. And we've pitched well, but I don't think it's quite elevator ready yet. So, can we try and condense this into a 30-second? I know asking myself and Ollie, particularly for this one, is really, really difficult. Can we whittle this down to a 30-second pitch that we must put to Roger Goodell?
Yeah, man, you basically just got to show him the video of Welsh football fans singing the Amaro Heed and go, there you go, man. That's the pitch. That's where you put the team. No, I mean, everything we've said. I mean, you just have to kind of sum it up. We all know how this shit works. How you do the politics stuff of it. You just got to make it into a catchphrase, into a slogan. So basically, we've just got to put the idea of, accessible, everything already there, the market for it. How do we just condense that into a slogan? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Tom, I don't know why for a second. Are you in marketing as a career?
I have done marketing.
Right. Okay. I thought so. I know there was something. Right. This is where you shine, my friend. This is where you shine.
What, putting it into like a sentence or something? Oh my
The
God.
well, I've got to like so like the dragon will rise is
Mm.
obviously got to be in, that's got to be part of the thing. That's got to be like the ending of the thing is, you do all of this thing, the dragon will rise, the dragon will rise again is got to be the kind of, I think that's a good tagline to go with it.
Dragon will rise. I mean, that does sound quite.
The
You
dragon
kind of
will
have to
rise again.
incorporate it, so it's like it's got the Welsh part of it, but then it's also appealing to an American audience as well. Um,
Have you ever seen the thing of that? Oh, what's his name? Something Sheen, the actor. I can't remember his
Michael.
name. Is it Michael Sheen? And he does the speech before in the dressing room before Wales World Cup, and yeah, that
oh, you're on about Thingy Sheen.
yeah, not yeah. What's his name? Is it Michael Sheen?
Maybe it is Michael
I think
Sheen
it is Michael Sheen, isn't it?
because
Yeah, Michael Sheen.
there's
Yeah,
about four different Sheens.
I say
yeah,
it weren't
Michael Sheen.
Charlie Sheen. I don't think it
No, it
were.
wasn't
Yeah, no, it
That
Charlie
one
Sheen
your
definitely
or
man.
wasn't
Martin
Charlie
Sheen,
Sheen.
so it was clearly Michael Sheen. Yeah.
I see. I know he's Welsh, so it would
Yeah, but
make
he does.
sense.
He does. His speech is pretty mental.
What about American Passion, Welsh Spirit?
No,
Ooh,
just we have more. No, I think it'd be the other way round.
So American Spirit, Welsh
So
Passion.
Welsh passion, American spirit, or like
Well,
American.
American Spirit,
like, well, I
yeah.
see Welsh passion or Welsh spirit meets the American dream.
Yeah,
Mm,
something like that. Yeah.
that could work.
And then like I think we've got to have that at the end. The dragon will rise again.
Not letting that one go. That one
You
has to be
love
in there,
that
doesn't it?
will
Has
rise.
to be in.
Bro, like this, I mean, this is we're going back to like when Wales ruled the British Isles and like this is it, man. The glory years are coming back. Here we
I
are. I got the speech. I won't read the whole thing, but yeah, I hear the voices singing "Speed your journey, boys, boys." Bash. A nation singing with one voice, a song of hope, a song of defiance, a victory song that floats through the valleys like a red mist that rolls over the mountain tops like crimson thunder.
mad.
This is great and all, but I think you just go and say that to Roger Goodell. He kind of goes, "I'm in. What we doing?
Yeah,
Um, what we doing?"
just Roger Goodell cares about money and how it's perceived. So you've just got to get across the market's there. It's going to make loads of money, and look how well it will be perceived by the fan base. Roger, it doesn't even matter what you do, how you interfere, right? It doesn't matter how shit the team is, they're going to support them. You know what I mean? There's a
Yeah,
reason
you
why
just got to
Roger
show
Goodell.
that, like the resilience of it,
There's
like the
yeah,
resilience of Welsh
the,
fans.
there's a reason why Roger Goodell loves Cleveland fans.
Mm,
Because it doesn't matter how shit we're treated and how bad we are, we'll still be here. We'll still pay to watch the products.
yeah, so
And
that's
that's
what
what he
you got to encapsulate that in. So it's like Welsh resilience meets American spirit.
Yeah, I think that's a good kind of thing. But then also, if we just turn up and say, "You're right, Roger," yeah, Welsh resilience meets American spirit, he's gonna go, "What the fuck are you talking about? Are
Exactly.
you are
It's
you on
the whole.
drugs?"
I'm
Um,
in. What we doing?
Mm.
yeah. So I mean, I think he's gonna understand what the meeting is. I don't think we're gonna just like randomly corner him in the
No,
street and be like,
this is the plan. This is
I
the
think he's
plan.
agreed to this meeting, so he knows what the concept of the meeting is.
No. I'm gonna say this is one of those where we turn up to his office and
We just corner him in the
I
street,
distract his secretary and you
right?
two run in
Okay,
and
yeah,
say Welsh resilience,
yeah,
American
yeah,
spirit, and then run
and
out.
then and
Money,
then and the next thing we know
fan
is that
base.
Wales is listed as a terrorist organisation, and me and Tom are thrown into jail for 25 years.
Yeah. But one of us survives out of this and continues the fight.
Yeah,
I just
continues
leave
the
in the name.
struggle.
True.
Um, or let's say money. Do you do one of those? Like, do you remember in the is it what World Cup? Is it before the 2010 World Cup when Sepp Blatter was doing a press conference, and Lee Nelson, the comedian, just got up and threw cash at him, and then got
That's
carted out.
yeah. That
Um,
2006, Germany.
no, it was after that because he weren't thinking because it was when he had his was it just
2006
after?
was Germany, wasn't it? Or was that 2002?
No,
No,
2006 was
2006 was
Germany.
Germany,
Yeah.
2010 was South
10 was South
Africa.
Africa,
Two was
No, no,
2014.
when was
Korea,
it?
wasn't it?
When was it that they announced Qatar? Because I'm pretty
Oh,
sure it was around the time they announced because it was that
oh, obvious. Yeah, that would make the most sense.
he was
Mm.
doing a load of them like public stunts and getting into whatever. And I just remember him standing up and just throwing cash at Sepp Blatter. Um,
We've
but
got to be
instead,
careful
he
nowadays.
kind of throw like the Welsh Monopoly money, Anglesey Monopoly money at him, with a dragon on it, and just say, "This could be you, bro."
This could be you, bro. No, I think you two had a good the whole Welsh resilience or Welsh passion meets American whatever. Um, as we said, you just got to try and basically explain what we've explained in a professional way. We'll hire someone to do it for us. That's fine. We'll basically tell him, what we think, and he can do it in a professional way of the whole,
Chat
all.
GPT.
Yeah, exactly. ChatGPT. Basically, all the infrastructure's there, all of the reasons for why we think this is the best place. You know, caveat, yes, if all three of us were being serious, we probably wouldn't pick a UK place, but we're a UK podcast, so we're obviously going to pick a UK place. Why we think this is the best place in the UK right now, which is kind of what I said. I just think this is going to have the most support from the place. Like, as I said, slap a Welsh badge on it, they'll get behind it. So just explain all of that in a condensed form, and then me and Tom run in at the end and go Welsh resilience meets American whatever it
Spirit.
was spirit.
And then I say what you need there is just look
Maybe
Bluetooth
get
speaker that
a male Welsh choir van, a male Welsh choir to come and sing the anthem as we leave.
I still stand by Cal online. Um, so, but yes, so okay then. I think we pretty much got there.
Yeah.
We haven't actually done the condensing. We've just said say all this but condensed. And that I'll take it. I'm happy
We're,
with
we're
that.
not we're not marketing guys. We don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Tom was at one point. Like,
I
it's
mean,
just it's
I was, but it's hard to encapsulate all this into one thing.
But the thing is, right? It's just there's too much to encapsulate. We'd be doing a
Mm.
disservice to the wonderful land of Wales to just put it into a 30-second statement.
yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. Well, we're gonna have to. Well, I'm gonna say we'll have to chat GPT it, or
Or we
something.
or we
We'll have
create a
to.
video, like a 1 minute video of like why. Do you know what I mean? Why should we have a team in Cardiff? And then it goes to this person. We've got all of this stuff, and then it shows the stuff. We've got this, and then it shows other. I think that would be a good little promotional thing.
I've just got images. Always Sunny. Whenever they put them commercials together in Always Sunny,
Mm.
and they're just all over the place and absolutely brilliant. Um, yeah, that's all I can
Just
think of.
random explosions and shit. Like my first time ever using a video editing app. There's just like explosions everywhere and sound effects.
Uh, that reminds me of the one where what is it? Because Frank loves to be Dr. Toboggan. It's like, oh, this
Yes.
is Dr. Toboggan, and you've got the bug virus.
Like, do you two remember like um
Computer virus.
do you two remember like 2012 like rage videos where it'd just be like some like dubstep music and then it'd be like just everything going on the screen where there's like tanks blowing up and then a dinosaur will come in and then get blown up by a rocket, that kind of thing where it's
Do
just
you
all
do you not
over the
remember the one
place.
on DVDs that they used to get with like the dun, dun, and then like it was like if you're caught stealing, then
Mate,
Oh yeah.
the funny do you want to know the funniest thing about that?
Hmm.
A couple of years ago, right? They got basically so they pirated the text that they used for that
Mm,
advert. They
It was the
yeah.
literally
music.
pirated it
It
and
was
the
the
music. Yeah,
music.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah,
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Would you steal a TV? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Would you steal your nan's purse? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. No, well, you wouldn't steal a DVD.
Yeah, literally.
I think you
it was
find
that.
Du-
Will.
du- 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 du-
It's
du.
very
It
funny.
if you ever want the like an ultimate definition of irony, it's that the anti-piracy ad was pretty
Yeah,
much all pirated.
it was
It
all
was
pirated. Yeah, yeah.
absolutely brilliant.
Oh,
Imagine them trying to do an advert nowadays with the fucking fire sticks, mate. Like
oh yeah, literally.
their
Yeah.
mind would just be like, ah. Like, you can pirate anything.
Yeah.
I think you
No,
could get
that's
people's
mad.
Ring doorbell footage on those things. Not that I would know. Anyone. Not that I would know, or I've ever used one or owned one. No, 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 no. Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we've
I have a
heard
TV license.
the things you find out by in a 10 minute scroll on Reddit is just crazy. Um, I can't say the other things that I've learned on there, but okay. So I'm happy with where we're at, gentlemen. Are you happy with where we're at with this pitch and this
Boys,
franchise so far?
boys, am I
Yes.
happy? We
Related.
picked Cardiff. Of course, I'm happy. Well, I mean, bittersweet moment for me as the Swansea fan, but I wasn't going to sit here and try and argue fucking Swansea now, was I?
Barry Island.
Yeah,
Um,
Barry Island.
well,
Abercrombie.
well, say what you said. Well, have you ever heard of James Corden here, Roger Goodell? Have you ever heard of James Corden? Well, do you know how he got
Have
famous?
you ever heard of
Um,
Ness?
I know he's a bit of a prick now,
Yeah,
but
Have
how
Smithy
you
he
on
got
Ness,
famous?
NASA.
you ever heard of Baby Neil by any
Mm.
chance?
Have you
To
ever
be
heard
fair though,
What's That Kid?
we were talking earlier about people to help promote us. James
Mm.
Corden, I'm sure, not that we'd want him promoting
Actually, I
us,
wouldn't
but
want him though, because he's not very well pursued by the American media, is
no,
No,
he?
they hate him. I mean, we
They
hate him
hate
over
him
here now, I think, pretty much as
because
well.
he's a
But
twat. So
yeah,
yeah. But he could put us in touch with Ruth Jones.
yeah, very true.
well, if he could put us in touch with Ruth Jones, then that would be, well served.
I want to say we do need a little bit down the line to an extent when we're proper putting the plan together. But we do need some Welsh icons. Do we need to get Tom Jones in there as well to
Obviously,
help us?
obviously.
100%.
Who's thingy married to? Catherine Zeta-Jones. She's married to an American, isn't she?
Yeah,
What's his name? The famous actor.
yeah, Michael Douglas.
Yeah. So I mean, literally, you know what I mean? I know obviously she's from Swansea. She might take a little bit convincing to get behind a Cardiff team.
I can't believe that she's Welsh.
Everyone
Her
forgets
last
it.
her last name's Jones. What did you
Yeah,
expect?
yeah, yeah.
I know, but like you look at her, and you don't think Welsh.
Well, because she basically outgrew Wales, mate. Like she
Yeah,
became
yeah,
too
yeah.
famous for Wales. Like even
Mm,
Welsh people are like forgot about it. It was like she's too famous now. She's like American level famous, Hollywood famous.
literally.
Um, yeah. So, okay, this is right. Okay, this is where we're at. The franchise is in Cardiff. We've got ourselves down to our elevator pitch at this moment in time is lots of really cool things, and we'll just need to
Yeah,
condense it down into 30
yeah,
seconds.
essentially.
Chat GPT. If anyone wants to do this, by the way, if anyone's still listening, if you want to have a go at doing this, then please send us in a slogan. Or a 30-second elevator pitch we can do for Cardiff. To wrap this episode up, though,
Also,
so
send us your thoughts on what is the most like ridiculous advert that you've listened to as well,
yes,
as we just described
Yeah.
there. Like,
yeah.
that would be very interesting to read.
Okay, so the last question of the week, as is Chapman started this, and I always feel a bit rude for taking it on, but we have to do it every week. I did have one question, but now I'm going to add in a second one here that Tom's just thrown at us. Um, this week, I've seen in the news because it's got to be some sort of pop culture in here. That with Wimbledon going on, M&S have released a strawberries and cream sandwich, which just might have to be the weirdest thing well, not the weirdest thing, but one of the weirdest food combinations I've ever seen. Um, and this is, by the way, I don't know how UK wide this is, but in Manchester there is a saying going, if you can eat it, well, if you can put it between two slices of bread, you can just have it as a butter. If it just goes there, you can have it. Um, we are known for putting anything in between two slices of bread and having anything butter. This one a little bit too far for me. So, what are though some of the weirdest food combinations that you've ever had that you've seen? Is there anything? I want to know the weird food combinations, and I've got a story as well with this one.
Good combinations. I'm
I
trying to
mean, the
think.
most common one is just dipping French fries in milkshake that everyone thinks they're cool if they like. Oh, I dip my French fries in my milkshake. All right,
Why
sorry.
swing for me like that, bro?
Oh, you one of them, are you? Oh no! Look, guys, look! I'm dunking my chips in my milkshake. Look, everyone! Look, everyone! It's not grossing me out. Look, I'm well edgy. It's the fact they have to just tell everyone. Look, yeah, you guys don't like chips in your. Oh no, it's really good. I don't like the texture of it. To be honest, it's not so much the taste; it's just the texture.
The weirdest. I can't think of one, I don't think I eat anything like that weird. Uh,
I've seen someone use Marmite as just a dip for chicken. That was
okay, yeah,
odd.
that sounds pretty bad.
I've seen someone put vinegar on ice cream.
I've seen
What?
that's
Vinegar on
mad.
ice cream.
What? Okay,
Yeah,
that's weird.
yeah, vinegar on ice cream.
That's definitely weird. I was gonna say, when I was growing up, my sister used to put Marmite and ketchup on toast. I think that's weird. That's very
Marmite and
weird
ketchup on
to me.
toast.
Yeah. I hate Marmite anyway, and I would
Same.
never do that, but
I don't mind a little bit, a little spread on toast, but when there was someone I met a while ago sent a picture and they had just a dollop of Marmite and they had chicken chunks and they were just dipping it and eating it. I was like, I can't. It's not okay. Um, I can't. Or pineapple on pizza. That one's also disgusting. Fight me.
Coffee and cigarettes is quite bad because it's quite ashy in your mouth. Oh wait, you're not supposed to eat the cigarettes.
Um, I'll say that's what I call a council estate breakfast.
I think the thing is, we're
Coffee and a
British, and
roast.
like this was always going to be the most like boring answers because we're British. Like, ask this in like Indonesia or something, we're going to get
mm.
some crazy cool answers, or
Oh yeah.
go and ask this in like the south of France, and we're going to get like
Mm.
the snail with the chocolate. We're going to get some crazy answers. We're going to Britain, and it's going to be like, oh no, gravy and donuts, mate.
I say I'm northern enough to try that.
I'll tell
Um,
you what, mate, Yorkshire puddings and chocolate.
Oh man.
It's just
well, it's just pancake batter, isn't it? Really?
profiterolles, mate. It's just profiteroles.
Oh yeah, yeah, good point
Yeah,
It's all just literally eggs, bloody flour, and you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's the
true.
same thing.
I want to
True.
say, well, it's similar to a pancake batter and
Yeah,
everything like that, isn't
we
it?
used to do that all the
So,
time. Me and my mate, we used to make Yorkshire puddings, melt chocolate, and pour melted chocolate on them.
um, so years ago when I was must have been about at least 12 or 13 maybe, went camping as part of like a cohort I was with, and there was just about 10 of us or whatever that went. And the first day we'd had a mess up with food and we just had a load of random items that we had and we couldn't go shopping at the time because it was like we arrived on a Sunday, it was like 7 o'clock at night, so you couldn't really go anywhere and get food. And this camping event that was on, none of the food vendors were set up and nothing. So it was kind of like, so some of the items were just, we had a bit of bread, then you had a bit of this and a bit of that. And we decided that instead of being normal people and just having a packet of sweets or having a packet of crisps, we'd come up with a contest of who could have the weirdest sandwich. Like I say, we had a lot of random items of food that didn't necessarily go together. You could probably kind of have on their own, but didn't necessarily go together. So we were throwing things like pickled onions and Haribo and
Oh,
Oof.
oh,
what else was there? I can't
oh.
like to this day I cannot remember exactly what was that. I had what was apparently the weirdest and I ate about a third of it and then I think threw up. Um but it was we had this competition who could make the weirdest sandwich and it was savory items,
Yeah.
sweets, chocolate.
If we go to a private school, I think they got one called what's it called? Soggy biscuit, I think they call it. That's a pretty odd combination, that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I
Oh my days. I was gonna say I got one flex because it was at school as well. I was like I was at like food tech or whatever, and then we had to make a sandwich, but there was like nothing in the fridge when I made the sandwich. So I just made a coleslaw sandwich, which is like the weirdest combination. And it
I don't
actually
think it's
tasted
that
alright.
weird.
Don't get me wrong, like it actually was okay,
I
but
want to say I don't think it sounds that weird to be
you
fair.
don't think so?
No, it doesn't sound too weird, to be
Like,
fair. Just like it's just like eating coleslaw, really, but with some bread.
Yeah, I guess so.
like
I had a egg and cress sandwich at school without the egg.
just
So
a
you just had
crest
a cress
sandwich.
sandwich.
We had to grow our own cress, so and that's what we did. We put it in a sandwich, little bit dry.
I mean, like I would say coleslaw. I don't particularly like coleslaw, but it doesn't sound. I would say it doesn't sound too out there.
It tasted like it was just like the consistency of it was a bit weird
Yeah,
'cause it's in a
yeah,
sandwich,
that's
but
fair.
yeah.
And if you've got depending on how good the coleslaw is, because it gets a bit sloppy and
Mm.
it's why when I argue about with people about what I get from a chipper, um, and there's gravy smothered all over, we're not getting into the argument over what it's called, bread, cake, balm, roll, whatever you want to fucking call it. It is what it is, right? Over the
Anything other
bread
than
getting,
bread cake, that's just hilarious.
um, is the bread getting soggy, and I'm like, well,
Mm.
like if the gravy's good enough, it doesn't, right? If the gravy's good and thick, it does not get soggy. So, but coleslaw can be a really weird. If it's not great, coleslaw would be a bit watery.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So I can imagine
yeah,
the
very
bread getting
true.
soggy
Mm.
and being a bit of a weird texture.
Yes, exactly.
Um, I say so. Other than that, I was just like, just the things that I put between bread. I mean, there's a tradition in the Fletcher house, like the Fletcher family, where we do like when we have Christmas dinner, Christmas night, we'll make a Christmas dinner butty, but that's not. I would say
Oh
I don't think
no,
that's
no,
particularly
that's a normal thing.
off.
Yeah,
I
we
would
do
say,
the exact same thing. Yeah, yeah,
also with the gravy and everything though as well,
yeah,
just to
yeah,
ensure that.
yeah, 100%.
But I've said
That's
that
the
to
best
people before,
part.
and they're
Honestly, I
like,
think that's better than Christmas dinner most times. Like you get the leftover sandwich and
yeah.
stuff.
Well, there's no obligation to have the dry ass turkey at that point.
Mm.
You can just have pigs in blankets and
True.
parsnips and stuff in, and but like I said I brought that up to people before, and they've gone, "Hey, ew." Um, so the other one, okay, I'll throw the second one at you that Tom you brought up, and we'll see if we can get through this real quick. Weirdest adverts that you remember from when you were younger?
I got two.
What?
Um, grow your private parts 6 inches, and click here for a Romanian wife. They were quite odd
Were they
ones.
where were these ads?
You said when I was a teenager, did you? Or
Well, when you were younger, we're not
oh,
talking.
sorry.
We're talking about. I think we're talking about television ads, not pop-ups.
Ah,
Not
right, got
pop-ups when
ya,
you were logging on to.
got
I
ya,
I can't say the name of the website.
got ya.
Um, Send me that link one more time, though, when I'll kill you. Um,
It works. Um, weirdest advert.
I just remember all the Talk to Frank ones, like the one where he's talking to his
Oh
dog.
yeah, the talk
It
to Frat ones were fucking
just
brilliant. They were so good. They were so good. Yeah, talk to Frat ones, 100%.
Yeah, I
Where
think I,
the idea of smoking weed is made out to be the most hilarious. That shit is so funny.
I
Don't
guess
do
not the
drugs, kids.
weirdest, but like I tell you the creepiest one I've seen, not the weirdest, was the one. It was to do with like road safety, and then you walk into the room, and then it's like the dead person is like right there, like they're literally like, "Why didn't you stop?" And I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Why didn't
That
you
knows what I'm on
stop,
about.
But I would say the road safety. I've got to say the road safety ones, pretty much all of them. I've got to. I know they've
mate?
got a message to convey, but also like, mate, chill out.
Nah,
Yeah, yeah,
A
yeah.
the
nightmare
best
to
Literally,
me.
honestly, I was
the
like
best
watching it. I was like, "That."
the best road safety was the hedgehog ones because anyone my generation, if you see them approach a road, they will do it in unison with the rhythm of that advert, with the looking left, looking right. That literally convinced the
Mm.
whole generation to safely cross the road. So that was one of the most effective ones.
Yeah.
Another one that came to my mind. Remember the Pepsi one with Kendall Jenner? No, I remember it, where it was like all the civil unrest going on, and it was meant to represent, what was going on in the world at that time with
Oh man.
social justice movements and stuff like that. And there's all this riot going on and then there's a riot police, and it's just Kendall Jenner goes up with a can of Pepsi.
Oh yeah, I've seen
That,
it.
that,
I've
that, that
seen it.
basically saves the world and solves all
Yes,
of the world issues. Was Kendall
I've
Jenner giving
seen
a
it.
police
Yeah, it's like,
officer a
oh
can?
yeah, grab yourself a Pepsi and that will solve absolutely everything. So,
Do you
Michael
remember
Jackson
the old Pepsi
manager.
football ads with David Beckham,
Yes, I was gonna
the
say
mm.
some of
David
them.
Beckham on the beach?
Some of them were absolutely brilliant. The sumo one was
we
always
we all thought that was our version of the American football adverts that everyone thought was real, but they were fake. That was
Mm.
our version of that. Was David Beckham on the beach hitting the bins with the footballs? Everyone was like, "It's real, I promise."
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah, 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 yeah. I know what you mean.
but
They were good adverts.
I always remember like you had the ones where I don't know, it'd normally obviously be on like a Champions League night on ITV when it was on ITV and stuff like that.
Yeah, back in
And
the
it was
day.
sponsored by Pepsi, but you had David Beckham,
Yeah, yeah.
you'd have a load of them in there.
Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho, Messi was in some of the Pepsi
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ones. But there was the ones where they played a game against sumo wrestlers.
The Nike ones, Fletch. Do you remember
The
the?
Nike ones were the best. So the Joga Benito ones, or the ones with they did a series with Eric Cantona, incredible.
Oh mate, or they did like it was like Ronaldo, all of like Nike's best athletes, and they would be playing against like aliens and stuff like that. The Ronaldinho crossbar, remember that one? Where
Yes,
just ping, 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 ping on the crossbar.
but
Mate, some classics.
I remember, like I will say, I got a Joga Benito football, I stole Joga Benito football, but all I ever wanted, like one of the things I was wanted as a kid was one of them gold Joga Benito footballs because of the ads were. Ronaldinho was my favorite player growing up. Like, that was it. It was everything had to be right. It was either Ronaldinho, Thierry Henry, or Sean Goater because they are equal footing, all three of those people, right? That's all that mattered. Every morning in school, going in or at dinner, you go play football on the playground. Just want to do whatever Ronaldinho did at the weekend, right? That's all you wanted to do. And so watching those adverts were just, I'll still go back and watch them on YouTube.
Yeah, mate. The
All the
the,
Joga
the, the
Bonito
classic
ones.
Nike adverts were so fucking good.
Um, and also, what was it? Do you remember the NFL 100 one where it was the golden ball and they had the big
Mm.
gala and
Yeah,
all?
they're all like, yeah, yeah, like Go Long and like the
Yeah,
Brady and I think Saquon's in it, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's loads in it, but they had a
Yeah, you got like
similar
Joe
one.
Montana in it, and you got like Jerry Rice in it, and you got Dion in it, and so yeah, you got all sorts of ones.
Yeah, but it reminds me of like there's like this 2002 Nike ad where you basically had a load of. I think a game might have started. Uh, Brazil players were playing about in the dressing room, like in the locker room, and that before the game. They're doing a bit doing keepy uppies and tricks and all that. And then the ad kind of moves over to the tunnel, and they're about to play Portugal, and the ball drops, and Brazil pick it up, and it goes all around the stadium they're playing. Um, was again that was a brilliant ad, and you had loads of little cameos in that as well.
They don't make adverts like they used to.
No.
The last one I'll say that I still not football related or sports related, but I remember the one of the early Barclaycard adverts where you had the massive water slide that went through the shops and everything, and it was like early days of contactless technology. So this guy's going on the water slide and just tap, 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 and I only remember it because one, I really wanted to go on the water slide, and two, it was the song "Just Let Your Love Flow," and it's just a great song.
Well, speaking of musical ones, I think we can't end this without saying the Cadbury's advert with
I
the
was gonna
gorilla.
say the Phil Collins one with the yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a
Oh, the
good one.
eyebrows.
Yeah, all the eyebrows. Yeah, yeah, all the eyebrows.
Um, do
What
you
about
ever
the
remember?
Sit It
Right.
Bang one? That was so random as
Oh,
well.
yes.
Bang! My name's Barry Scott. Bang! And the Barry Scott.
Do you remember Howard from Halifax?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He
Fuck
was
you know.
he was our Jake from State Farm, I think.
Or the Welsh goat and pear guy.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. He's so good. Especially the one where it's got like him in character and then him out of character
Yeah, yeah,
interacting with each other.
yeah.
That's too good.
I remember what was it like 2012, 2013 when everyone had been just sick of him. And they did that marketing campaign. But
Mm.
even I woke up one morning, I went to go get the tram to go into Manchester City Centre, and I was like, someone's like gone up and spray painted over him overnight. This is ridiculous. I can't believe it. It's hilarious. And it was every billboard around the country that had him on was spray painted as this little marketing technique. It was brilliant. Um,
Well, if we need anyone to promote our Cardiff team,
yeah, no,
Mr. Joe, Mr. Joe Compare,
it's got to be
Yes.
that's he rendered any opportunity of us getting anything there.
what,
His
mate,
whole
20,
his whole opera career got ruined by it, didn't it?
yeah, 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 20 quid, I'm sure you'll do it. I think you'll do any gig at the minute.
Right, okay. So we've kind of dived. I think this last conversation was longer than the rest of the episode,
Yeah.
but it was good conversation, lot of fun. With that being said, I think it's time we call it a day, and we will see you next week for episode 2, part 2 of the Builder Franchise Workshop, where no,
What
I
does
haven't got
that
it in front of me.
include?
Um, this will include. Hang on, I'll have to
Is
scroll.
this like logo, name,
Um,
colors?
Off the top of my head, I cannot remember.
Because I will
But
just
it's
say we are removing any affiliation of blue away from Cardiff. They're not this team is not having the Cardiff blue colorway. This team is having the Wales red colorway.
we are only allowed to draft in pick 7, or the player must at least have this number 7 in their birthday as well.
What?
Do you not remember when he took over Cardiff and not only did he
Oh,
change the
so
colour,
I was
he
so
would only
confused.
he was only sign players if they had the
Yeah,
number
yeah,
7 in the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
birthday.
yeah.
Um, so this is where it gets weirdly, oddly homoerotic. Stuff me, stitch me, and fluff me.
Oh,
Next week is we're going
oh,
to build the roster. We're
the
going to
roster.
we're not going we're not putting that up, but what we're going to do, we're going to kind of build that team identity. What do we want the roster to look like? How are we going? Like, are we going to build trenches first, QB like skill positions first, all that sort of stuff?
Trenches
I
first,
know,
obviously.
no,
We're
I know.
Welsh.
Um, to the front office, to the business. Like we're going to kind of put a lot of the business, a lot of the things in place. So again, we're not turning around and saying, right, we're just going to take Patrick Mahomes and we're just going to
Yeah,
take
yeah,
so
yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
and so. What we're going to do is we're going to say, like, just this is how we want this is what they want the identity to be. Do we want to be smash mouth football? Do we want to
Yeah.
be, faster and flashy? Do we want to be like, how do we want this football team to look in general?
So,
And again,
I
with
want Lamar Jackson with a dragon on his back.
so do I need to wear a suit to accept my obviously role as GM next week then, or is casual all right? Or
that's entirely up to you,
all right.
however you feel fit. I heard there's once a Welsh girl outfit. I
I'll,
remember.
I think it'd be harder to find one than it would be to wear one.
Um, yeah. Um, I could listen. This, if I really want to, I'll pull strings. I'll make something happen.
I could ask my cousin for the Welsh kilt if you really want.
But yeah. So the idea, I think we're going to start just looking at identity and how we're the roster, the team, the franchise itself, that front office. How is that going to look like? What's the identity going to be?
Yeah.
Because I think. Oh, by the way, Roger Goodell got back to me. I know we've not fully put in a 30-second pitch yet, but he was just like, yeah, go for it, carry on. Um, we are good to go on the Cardiff
Yes.
proposal. We just have to put everything together now for
Does
the
this mean
others.
that like we can do like a really like inconspicuous social media post where we set up the account and we do like a just all we tweet is like the eye emojis.
Mm.
Everyone's like, whoa, what's going on here?
I'm gonna have to cut this bit out now because then everyone will hear the plan, mate.
Oh
Right?
shit.
Um,
Exciting.
yeah, and
What are we
how
hurdling this week then, Fletch?
that's a great question. Don't know, what do you want to hurdle this week? Because I feel like are we gonna hurdle that Cardiff?
I think we got a heard of that Cardiff.
Hurdle that franchise, I guess. But
I mean,
Heard,
we'll hurdle the
heard all the
franchise
prince
when the franchise is built.
yeah.
okay,
Um,
yeah.
Heard all the roof on the principality.
Are we hurdling that Cardiff, I think.
Or heard of
Yeah.
those dragons?
Hurdle those dragons. Hurdle those drags. Um, we'll confuse everyone with it. But okay, so gentlemen, I hope to see you next week. Ollie, you've got really no choice now. Over in Cardiff, you have no choice.
Clearly.
Tell your boss, tell the Browns community, we're sorry. We're not
Guys,
really
sorry, but
sorry.
this is a
But
bit more important.
yeah,
Cardiff is
just a
in the
just
running.
just a
Sorry, not
bit.
even in the running. Cardiff has been decided,
Yeah,
so
Cardiff has been decided, so
I kind of need to be involved in this.
you
So
do. And then yeah, so hopefully I will see you both next week when we will be stuffing, stitching, and filling and fluffing even. Um, and then we'll record a podcast. Hurdle that drag.